IBC, Executive Director, Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, and Sri Abhijit Manga, Director General, IBC. I would like to invite all the esteemed dignitaries on the stage for offering flowers to the Buddha statue and for lighting the lamp.
I would like to invite my people judging.
Communicating, and we'll put you also, LBDFI also in there. They want to start an academy here.
We're so impressed and that heritage
Yeah, really, yeah.
That's the great thing, we just have a jewel.
Hmm?
Trying to awaken humans to the incredible heritage.
บนนั่งเลยครับ
You've been in this organization. How's the chief? Okay.
Where International Buddhist Confederation, along with Light of Buddha Dharma Foundation International, has joined hands for the revival of the Buddha Dharma in the land of its origin, India. Today, we gather not only as spectators, but as witnesses to a profound resurgence, a cultural and spiritual reawakening that transcends time. The teachings of the Buddha once embraced the very soil beneath our feet and have stood relevant across centuries. Today, as we stand at the crossroads of tradition and modernity, it is time for us to breathe new life into these timeless principles. Now, I would like to invite Venerable monks for the Mangal part.
The Bible of the Buddha Dharma in the lands of origin. We are some Myanmaris. We are reciters, Mangala Sogas. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gissami, Dhammam Saranam Gissami, Sangham Saranam Gissami. Isibigo Bhagava Araham Sama Sambuddho Vaisarana Samano Sudano Nokavidu Anodara Purisa Dhammasarati Sadadeva Manutana Buddho Bhagava Thakarato Bhagavata Dhammo Aledigo Agarigo Evadigo Obaneigo Visada Vedabo Venyuri Sobrivano Bhagavato Savakasango Usobrivano Bhagavato Savakasango Nabrivano Bhagavato Savakasango Namisebrivano Bhagavato Savakasango Hariran Sadari Purita Yugani Anapurita Pugala Eda Bhagavato Savakasango Aruneyo Karandiyo, Nodra, Mungakitan, Lokata, Yamingala, Bodasai, Sengayendu, Adivaka, Dutana, Nadigisandi, Karayitinsa, Mingala, Editan, Dewadivina, Navadoma, Vinatana, Navaloka, Yadaya, Mingala, Namamahe, Eo Meduda, Ekatamaya, Bhagawa, Tawatiya, Vihārati, Seda.
And to Dr. Wang Mo Dixie, Executive Director, Light of Buddha Dharma Foundation International. I would now like to request Shatsek Hensu Changchuk Chöden Rinpoche, Deputy Secretary General, IBC, to deliver his welcome address and opening remarks.
Anidrodham, Anutpadam, Anuchedam, Shashvatam, Anekartham, Nanartham, Nagamam, Nirgamam, Ya Pratitya Samutpadam, Prapancho Pasimam, Shivam, Deshyamasasam Buddhistam, Vande Vadatam Varam. With these lines, I pay homage and respect to the great teacher of gods and human beings and all living beings, the Buddha, the great Shakyamuni. And I pay my humble respect to the Sangha community present here with us. And I welcome most respected Shri S.K. Mishra ji, the chairperson of Indian Trust for Rural Heritage and Development, for your presence. I express my deep respect and welcome most venerable Pra Maha Tirapong from Wat Thai Vipassana Temple in Varanasi, and I'm deeply pleased to welcome Lady Dr. Wang Mo Dixie, Executive Director of Light of Buddha Dhamma Foundation International, and I welcome my colleague, Mr. Abhijit Haldar, Director General of IBC, and all respected brothers and sisters gathering here in this auditorium. It's a great pleasure for us, the International Buddhist Confederation, to be able to
and of course the ever shining and ever always full of energy Wang Mo Dixie from the LBDFI. Of course, Richard is, I just saw him walking out. I think he's coordinating the PowerPoint. Also to Richard, who has been equally a contributor to whatever that LBDFI has been doing here in India. My dear friends in the audience, the academicians, scholars, as well as special guests who have come as part of the LBDFI, welcome. I must mention that, for me, when I started working with the IBC, I was frantically looking at institutions and organizations which were capable of undertaking some of the tasks which we are, we have as part of our agenda, as part of our charter. And one of the things which we do as part of our charter is primarily to let people who are the ardent followers of Buddhism across the world, to bring them back to the homeland. The homeland is the land of the Buddha, as Venerable Jamchuk Chodhanji just mentioned. And this is an exercise which the LBDFI does in a fantastic manner. And I was very amazed by the manner in which they meticulously plan such activities. They culminate with a massive chanting ceremony in Bodh Gaya, and I had the privilege of attending that event last year. It was indeed a mesmerizing moment. I was there with my family, and I think all of us felt the relevance of the chanting under the Bodhi tree. I mean, it was out of the world. And I think this year, again, we are going to have that event where I should be able to attend. I'm not going to miss that opportunity. This is something which is rare and unique, and I always feel that LBDFI's effort is a major contributor to what we intend to pursue in the IBC and what India wants to showcase to the world in terms of this being the land of the Buddha. We have also tried to coordinate our activities, since LBDFI is a renowned and prominent organization back in the USA. We've had some visitors from our side who visited their facility in Berkeley in US, and we were again quite impressed by the huge infrastructure which they have there, serious work which they are doing in the US. And keeping this in mind, we in fact thought that in America, basically there's a massive network of Buddhist activists who belong to different traditions and sects, but they are fractured. They're not unified under one umbrella, and it's very difficult to do that sitting here. But then we took the help of LBDFI and Wang Mo and her team and Richard to somehow make a beginning. And that we managed to do this year during Buddha Purnima celebration. We managed to coordinate in such a manner that in the Indian Embassy in Washington, with our request, the Indian Embassy conducted a massive ceremony during Buddha Purnima, and Wang Mo was there as part of the International Buddhist Association of America, with a lot of academicians. I think Professor Hubbard was also there, a very famous professor from the Washington University. A good collection of people, talent base from the US, came together in Washington under the aegis of LBDFI and the International Buddhist Association of America. And this was a very heartening experience for us. Some of the words which we wanted to convey on that occasion was read out in the embassy. Our film was shown there. And this is the kind of connect we want to make in terms of mutual understanding and what all we can deliver and leverage from our own potential in our respective countries. So welcome to all of you once again. I wish you all every success in your endeavor and your journey in the next couple of weeks. And thank you for giving us the opportunity for being blessed by all of you venerables here. Thank you very much. Namo Buddhaya.
Jamchuk Chodhan Rinpoche, Deputy Secretary General IBC, to honor him with the Khatak.
नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा संबुद्धस्स नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा संबुद्धस्स नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा संबुद्धस्स बुद्ध लोकजयी सदा विजयते बुद्धं मुनीन्द्रं भजे बुद्धेन अभिहत मनुष्य कलुषं बुद्धाय तस्मै नमः बुद्धात् नास्ति अनुतर सुखं बुद्धस्य शिष्यो अहम् बुद्धे चित्तलय सदा भवतु मे हे बुद्ध मां बुद्ध. Venerable Bhikshu Sangha, respected Chairman, Mr. S.K. Misra ji, the Chairman of Rural and Development, Heritage of Rural and Development, and DG IVC Abhijit Haldar ji, Professor Ravindra Pant ji, and Dr. Wangmo Diki, and Venerable Rinpoche ji, and Bante, and all the dignitaries. Where is my PPT? That's what I told. Okay, so the topic has given revival of Buddha Dhamma in the land of origin. So it is the last page. You have to go to the first page. Sorry. Okay, that was a technical problem. Okay, so if we look at the Buddha's period, while Buddha was giving the teachings, okay, this has come already. So I have written Pustaki Bhavati Pandita. Actually, if you look at the tradition, the traditional Indian knowledge system, we have oral tradition and also the written tradition. So the Buddhism started with the oral tradition, and then there is a written tradition. And we know we have different sects. We have Theravada, we have Mahayana. So Pustaki Bhavati Pandita, I am talking about the manuscripts, because everything available to us in the manuscript, now we are making them printed form. Suppose Tripitaka, it was in the manuscript form in Myanmar, in Sri Lanka and various countries. So the manuscripts actually begins with the written form. And when you're talking about the oral tradition, when Buddha was teaching or giving the talk or preaching to the disciples, he was in various places. He was visiting various places. There will be a big question which language he was using. He was using that language, there was some mutual intelligibility. If you look at the 4 different events in the life of Buddha, there is a geographically is far away, different places. Suppose in Lumbini to Bodh Gaya, Saranath and Kushinagar. So the language he was using, there was a mutual intelligibility. Why I am talking? Because when we are talking about the revival of Buddha Dhamma in land of origin, we have to focus actually the language. First the language, because the language will help us in various mode, so that we can take it up in the future. Suppose we need to have the translation of the basic Buddhist text in Indian regional languages. So without that regional, okay, so this has come. Okay, thank you. So I was talking about these 4 different places where Buddha, the incident has happened, and he was talking about the language. So the language he was using, there was the mutual intelligibility. And he was mainly speaking about Prakrit. Because Prakrit language he was speaking, because he was targeting the masses. It was the language of the masses. So next slide, please. Once what happened that we can convert your teaching to Chandas, that's the Vedic language. And Buddha never allowed to them to convert his whole teaching to the Buddhist language. He said them Sakaya Nirutti. That is the language, the own language. Means Buddha allowed all his disciples to teach in their own language.
Buddha, facing east, marks the exact seat of the Buddha during his enlightenment in the 6th century BCE. The Buddha travelled 180 miles from Bodh Gaya on the ancient Uttar Path to reach present Sarnath. As per tradition, it was here in the deer park of Sarnath on Ashar Purnima, a full moon day in the month of July, that the Buddha delivered his first preaching to his 5 former ascetic companions.
the basic teaching of the Buddha, which he revealed to the 5 mendicants in Saranath, preaching the first sutta, which is called Dhamma Sutta.
I'm going to go through a series of slides which really shares the story of what we've been doing for the last 20 years about this mission that's dedicated to reviving the Buddha Dharma here in the motherland of India. And so there are lots of beautiful photos that I want you to come with me on this journey, because for me, this was really a journey and a yatra that we're still continuing on. So next slide, please. Okay, so a little bit about our mission. We are established as a foundation which is based in Berkeley. We've had the good fortune of having some of the delegates from IBC come and visit us at Dharma College. I also am the director of Dharma College, which is based in the heartland of Berkeley, very close to the UC Berkeley campus. And Light of Buddha Dharma Foundation is a 501c3 foundation, and it has offices also in Thailand and in India, of course, here. We are able to do our work because of the FCRA approval, and that was granted in 2014. And there are 4 areas that we focus our mission on. First was the sponsorship of prayer ceremonies. And prayer ceremonies are basically reviving the Buddha Vachana, as you will come to see, but especially in Pali, in the Pali tradition. And we've conducted close to 100 of these prayer gatherings. I think the last slide that maybe was introduced at 80, but since then we've done about 100. And they're all over, but mostly in the holy places associated with the Buddha here in India. And because it became popular through the requests of lay devotees to say, and monks, please come and bring this gathering with
Four main directions, also 4 sub-directions, because we have 8 directions. 4 main directions, 4 sub-directions, we have 8 directions. So it has not gone into directions also, it has not gone to down on the earth and up in the sky also. Where it has gone, it goes. But when we teach these courses, also in the masters, we have one course for regular MA students. We have course, optional course, Pali, one course, and Buddha Darshana, one course, Buddhist philosophy.
The International Buddhist Confederation humbly greets you to experience the miracle of feeling oneness with Lord Buddha and at peace with oneself. Nestled within the monastic zone of Lumbini, to experience, reflect, and rever the sacred story of Buddha's life teachings, we bring to you a state-of-the-art project, India International Center for Buddhist Culture and Heritage. The design visualization of this beautiful building springs from the story of Buddha's birth, when he took 7 steps immediately after being born. At each holy step of this newborn, a lotus